Hello and good evening, everyone. This is Ryan Sargent, your host and presenter of God's Purpose for Your Life. Well, I've spent some time praying today. I've been very sick to my stomach, so I've been laying down off and on throughout the day, trying to be mindful of what it is that I'm eating today to make sure that it's calm on my stomach. But I think a bowl of lobster bisque might have been a little too much for me today. Too much cream, too much intensity. So I slept it off and I'm back in action. I have some help. I was humble enough to reach out to someone that can help me with this technical issue that I'm experiencing right now. They are currently working on it, so I'm praying that for God to give them guidance, that they can get this resolved for me, hopefully by today or tomorrow. But it got me thinking, are we praying for things that we actually need in life? You know, a lot of us think that money is the big thing. And I'm starting to realize more and more that praying to God about financials and material or earthly things is completely fruitless. Here's why. It can really depend on what your beliefs are, what you pray for. But as a Christian, guidance is probably one of the most important. Asking God for material things means that He's going to give you things that will not stick with you for life. These are things that will come and they will go. But guidance will take you on a path that will lead you somewhere that will end you up ultimately in the kingdom of heaven. Plus, is God really only going to bless you with anything that does not glorify Him? I know that I wouldn't want to do anything if it wasn't for the glory of God, and I'm hoping that you all feel the same way. So I would think many individuals turn to God for guidance and direction in making important life decisions and seeking wisdom and clarity in their choices. I know I had to make a decision today, but God reached into my heart and said, humble yourself to ask for help. I realized that this issue has really thrown a wrench in my productivity, and it needed to be resolved, but turned it into something bigger. This person that is helping me, if they are successful, they will have passed my hands-on interview process, and I'm going to hire them to provide this service to other people that are struggling out there or are running into a similar issue. I liked this individual's hourly rate. They were very nice, very kind and professional, and they went right to work. They gave me a reasonable time estimate. They have a verifiable track record of success. They have quality, merit, and character. They're punctual, timely, responsive. And you know what? I didn't look at anything about them, their race, their gender, their sexuality as considering factors. I did not look at those as qualifying factors, of any way, shape, and form. They just simply threw out that they can do the job, and I'm observing that that is the truth. Another thing that God can give us that we actually need is strength and support, and that's what I'm getting right now. I'm getting strength from the Lord, but I'm getting the support that I need because I've humbled myself to ask for it. Now, many of us are so stubborn, we won't ask for it if we need it. And sometimes we feel like, especially as men, that we're supposed to be the providers. We're supposed to be the ones that come through on things when people need it. But it's just not always the case. Sometimes we are broken to the point where we are on our knees and we need help from someone to lift us up. Tomorrow I start a new journey, and I'm very happy about it. I've done something similar a few years ago. It changed my life. It's time to do it again and rejuvenate my mind. And God has pointed me in this direction again and provided me with the resources necessary, what I need in order to rejuvenate my mind again and to give myself that extra push. What I love about it is it's one of God's beautiful creations. The people that do it are non-invasive, and they're very, very innovative thinkers. I'm grateful for this opportunity. Another thing that we need from God is forgiveness. Forgiveness can last for an eternity as well. Notice these things are not of a material value. These are all things that are actions. Forgiveness, Christianity teaches the concept of seeking forgiveness from God, for wrongdoings or sins. But people seek forgiveness and strive for reconciliation with their higher power. But we know that is Yahweh. We know that we can get forgiveness from Yahweh for the harms that we have brought to other people. We know that God understands that in our heart, we must make an effort, a conscious effort, to perform the act of forgiveness on those that have harmed us. Simply thinking in your mind that you forgive someone is not the same as acting it out. Acting it out takes courage. Write a letter, send a text, make a phone call. Do not simply in your mind say, "Oh, I forgive them," as you think through the terrible things that they've done to you, that have broken you. They need to hear it or see it. God is not going to take those thoughts from your mind and transfer them into the other person's mind for you. You need to make a conscious effort and show the courage to perform that act of forgiveness, which is why it is called an act of forgiveness. Many of us seek God for the need of purpose and meaning in life. As I go through God's purpose for your life every day and read from the devotional book, it's what started all of this, is understanding our purpose and what it is that we really need from God. What is the meaning of all of this? Why has God put us here? What does He want from me and you? Some of us never find that out. Some of us find out that there's so much meaning and purpose, we don't even know what to do with ourselves. God is watching everything we do at every given moment. He's never not with us, even when we feel we're alone. So there must be something behind that. There must be some kind of meaning to all of this. People often seek a sense of purpose and meaning in their lives, and they look to God to help them understand their life's purpose and find fulfillment and live a meaningful existence. But then there are those that completely reject the idea of it and believe that it is all meaningless. May God have mercy on their souls. Many people look to God for the need of healing and health, as I have been. Although we do not live forever, our souls are eternal. When we leave our earthly vessel behind, hopefully it will have run well for us. More like a Chevy, not a Ford. But praying for healing and good health are common among those who believe in God's ability to intervene and provide physical, emotional, and spiritual healing. That's why we do it. I'd say that's probably the majority of the reason people do it. When you are seeing a loved one on their deathbed and you are praying when you never prayed before, You're doing it for some reason. I would hope it's not the only time is when you're the most desperate. Are you praying to thank God when things are great? Are you praying when things are mediocre? Or are you waiting until dread sets in and the black cloud forms overhead? We also pray for God because we need peace and inner harmony. Happiness, some people might pray for happiness, but happiness is a state of mind. We can choose to be happy even when we are in the darkest valley. We have God at our side. He is with us. But don't spend your life chasing happiness, because you will be disappointed one day when you wake up and you're not happy. If that was your goal, it's a meaningless and pointless goal. Find a purpose in life that is so meaningful that the fact that life is suffering is no longer relevant. Individuals may desire peace of mind, inner tranquility and emotional well-being, and they seek God's help in finding inner peace and harmony amidst life's challenges. We also seek salvation and redemption from God. It's sought from God as a means to find eternal life in the kingdom of heaven and liberation from suffering or even enlightenment. Heck, I got through Leviticus and Numbers. Leviticus is rules and damnation and blood and pain. In Numbers, that's exactly what it is. We're talking about the numbers. What's a head count for all these tribes that have been formed from all of the breeding that's gone on with God's chosen people? All the tribes and the clans, all the numbers added up. Gratitude and worship are other things that people pray for, that they need, that are not earthly. And gratitude, maybe people seek a connection with God for acts of gratitude and worship, expressing their appreciation for the blessings and goodness in their lives. That's when we should be doing it, folks. If things are going well, really well, or just okay, you stop and take a moment and you show how grateful you are to God, and you give your worthship to Him, because He is worth it. He's worth everything. Let's get started with today's reading. July 2nd, the real need. After desire has conceived, it gives birth to sin, and sin, when it is full grown, gives birth to death. James chapter 1, verse 15. Name the problems that plague our world, and you can trace them back to underlying emotional or spiritual needs in people's lives. Whether it's substance abuse, poverty, broken families, crime, or violence, every destructive condition grows out of profound internal needs that are first manifested in the heart. People react to the circumstances that they believe are the source of their unmet needs, but that are often only symptoms. For example, a person may think that money will alleviate the problems and dissatisfactions he has in life, and he may respond to that perceived need in a manner that is unhealthy, ungodly, and ultimately unsatisfactory, with anything from workaholism to theft. But in reality, the deep inner need he is really feeling might be for respect, personal worth, or security. That is an oversimplification, but you see the pattern. That person will be answering the wrong question about what really fills his soul. Friend, don't make that mistake. God not only reveals the true source of your need, but satisfies it beyond imagination. Seek Him and trust Him to be all you require. So as I was mentioning earlier, when it comes to these earthly needs that we have whether it be, as they said, substance abuse, to try to satisfy a loneliness perhaps, or a lack of friendship in your life, or just to feel good. But it is all artificial. It is not natural to feel good by getting high or drunk. Poverty can lead people to do some pretty terrible things too. It can also lead to the drug addiction, alcohol abuse. It can lead to theft, destructive behaviors, and broken families can do that as well. It's time to break that curse, folks. It's time to let God get into our hearts and change what needs to be changed. It's time to pray for what it is that we really need that will help us eternally. What we need is to get to the kingdom of heaven. What we need is to live more like Christ. Workaholism does not answer problems. I remember after my divorce, I had a coworker say, the best way to get back on the train and start functioning again and feeling productive is to just work. Is just go back to work. I'm so glad I didn't, because shortly after that, he went through a divorce, and I saw him work through it, and it broke him. I took time to be broken and to allow God to fix me and give me what I needed in my heart, which were some big changes. I needed big changes in my life. He does satisfy it now for me. Even when things get down, there's this sense of joy in my life that I know now that I am never alone. As long as I keep up living in the likeness of His only Son. Let's pray. Jesus, the truth is that I need You. Please help me see past my perceived needs to the deep inner cry You want to satisfy in me. Amen. God bless you all. Have a great day.